The distress call. The emergency signal cut through the silence of space like a scream in the dark. It reached the Galactic Council chambers on the station orbiting Zentara Prime, where representatives from 47 different species gathered in their floating seats. "Another distress call," announced Council Speaker Tarn, his blue skin darkening with concern. This time from the Velic colony on Rylon 4. The holographic display showed a peaceful trading settlement. Gentle beings with 4 arms and kind eyes had built their homes among crystal formations. They grew exotic plants and created beautiful art. They had no weapons, no armies, no defenses. "The Krax raiders are attacking," Tarn continued. 20 warships. "The Velic have perhaps 3 days before." He did not finish. Everyone understood. The Krax took no prisoners. They destroyed everything they could not steal. "We must send help," said Representative Mora, her wings folding with distress. "Our nearest fleet is 6 months away," replied Commander Vok. His warrior species knew the mathematics of war too well. "The Velic will not survive 6 days. The chamber fell silent. 47 species, thousands of ships, unlimited resources. None of it mattered. Space was vast and distance was the cruelest enemy. "The signal has spread across all channels," Tarn said quietly. "Perhaps someone closer will respond." But they all knew the truth. No one helped anymore. Not against the Krax. The raiders were too vicious, too strong. Species protected their own borders and nothing more. The distress call traveled farther through the dark. It reached Earth 3 hours later. In the command center beneath the Rocky Mountains, Admiral Kate stood before the display screen. She was 50 years old with gray hair and tired eyes that had seen humanity's first stumbling steps into the galaxy. "Ma'am, we're picking up an alien distress signal," said Lieutenant Tom at the communications station. "Language is translating now." "Put it through." The voice that emerged was broken, desperate. "This is Colony Leader Kier of Rylon 4. We are under attack. Please, anyone who can hear this. We have children here. We have elders. We are not warriors. Please help us." The command center went quiet. "Where's our nearest ship?" Kate asked. "The Dawnrunner, ma'am. Captain Jack's vessel. They're 3 weeks away from those coordinates. And the Galactic Council? 6 months out, ma'am. They've already declined to respond in time." Kate closed her eyes. Humanity had been in space for only 40 years. They had 5 ships capable of deep space travel. The Galactic Council barely acknowledged their existence. Earth was primitive, they said. Too young. Too aggressive. But none of that mattered right now. "Contact Captain Jack," Kate ordered. "Tell him to divert to Rylon 4, maximum speed." "Ma'am, the Dawnrunner is a science vessel. Light weapons only. The Krax have 20 warships." "I know the numbers, Lieutenant. The Council is broadcasting warnings. They're saying any rescue attempt is suicide. They're telling us to stay away." Kate opened her eyes. "Send the order. We help people who need help." "That's not negotiable." Across the command center, young officers exchanged glances. Some looked frightened. Others looked proud. "Message sent, ma'am." 3 weeks later, the Dawnrunner dropped out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of the Rylon 4 system. Captain Jack stood on his bridge, watching the tactical display. 20 red dots surrounded the small green dot of the colony. His ship was a single blue dot, small and alone. "Sir, we're receiving a transmission from the colony," said Officer Lisa. "Put it through." The face that appeared was desperate and grateful and heartbroken all at once. Colony Leader Kier looked at the human ship, so small compared to the massive Krax warships. "You came," Kier whispered. "You actually came." "We received your call," Jack replied. His voice was calm, almost casual. "We're here to help, but there is only one of you. 20 of them." Kier's hope visibly crumbled. "You are brave, but this is impossible. You will die for nothing." Jack smiled. It was not a kind smile. It was the smile of someone who understood something others did not. "Let's find out," he said. The Dawnrunner moved forward into the teeth of the enemy fleet. First contact with Chaos Warlord. Vec sat in his command chair aboard the flagship Blood Talon. He was a massive creature covered in dark scales and battle scars. He had raided 40 colonies in his lifetime. This one would be 41. Then his scanner officer spoke. "Commander, a new ship has entered the system." Vex barely glanced at the display. "One ship, small, insignificant, what species?" "Unknown, sir. The design is strange, primitive." Vex laughed. It was a harsh grinding sound. They dare to challenge us? Open a channel. The communication crackled to life. A face appeared on the screen. 2 eyes, no scales, soft skin, weak-looking. This is Warlord Vex of the Krax fleet. You have entered a combat zone. Leave now or be destroyed. The human looked back at him with calm eyes. This is Captain Jack of Earth vessel Dawnrunner. You're attacking peaceful people. Leave them alone. This is your only warning. Vex's crew burst into laughter. A warning? From a single tiny ship? You dare threaten me? Vex roared. I will teach you respect. All ships battle formation. 5 vessels will be enough to crush this insect. 5 Krax warships broke from the formation. Each one was twice the size of the human vessel. They moved into standard attack position. A widespread, shields forward, weapons charging. They're powering weapons, said Officer Lisa on the Dawnrunner's bridge. Good, Jack replied. Tom, kill the running lights. Lisa, full power to engines. Mark, arm everything we have. Sir, shouldn't we raise shields first? Asked Mark at weapons. No, we're not defending. We're attacking. The Krax ships fired first. Plasma bolts streaked through space toward the Dawnrunner, but the human ship was already moving. It didn't retreat. It didn't raise shields and dig in for defense like every other species did. It charged forward, straight into the enemy formation. What is it doing? Screamed the Krax tactical officer. The Dawnrunner dove between 2 Krax ships so close that their shields nearly touched. Then it fired, not energy weapons, kinetic railguns, chunks of metal accelerated to impossible speeds. Primitive technology. Brutal technology. Technology most species had banned as too dangerous, too unpredictable. The first railgun slug punched through a Krax ship's shield like it wasn't there. It tore through the hull, through 3 decks, and out the other side. The ship began spinning, bleeding atmosphere. Evasive action, Vex shouted from his flagship. But the human ship was already gone, rolling and twisting through space like a fighter instead of a vessel its size. It fired again. Nuclear-tipped missiles this time, ancient. Terrible weapons that civilized species had abandoned. A Krax ship exploded in a ball of fire. On Relan 4, colony leader Kerr watched through the settlement's telescopes. His 4 hands trembled. They fight like madness itself, whispered his assistant. Nell, they fight like they have nothing to lose, Kerr said quietly. The Dawnrunner spun and fired an electromagnetic pulse. Krax ships used plasma weapons, highly susceptible to electromagnetic interference. 2 ships went dark, their systems fried. In 4 minutes, 3 Krax warships were destroyed or disabled. The remaining 2 retreated in panic. Regroup, Vex commanded. All ships, attack pattern 7. But his crew was shaken. They had never seen anything like this. The human ship fought with no pattern, no predictable tactics. It was chaos with engines. Sir, should we pursue? Asked Mark. No, Jack said. We made our point. Let them think about it. The Dawnrunner changed course toward Ryland 4. Vex stared at his tactical display. 3 ships lost, 3, against 1 primitive vessel. Get me Krax High Command, he growled. Tell them to send reinforcements. Tell them these humans are not like other species. What should we tell them, Commander? Vex's claws dug into his chair. Tell them these humans fight like demons. Tell them they show no fear. Tell them they fight as if death means nothing. He paused, watching the human ship land at the colony. Tell them to send everything. The Dawnrunner touched down in the settlement's main plaza. The landing ramp opened, and Captain Jack walked down with 5 crew members. They wore simple uniforms and carried basic weapons. Kerr rushed forward to meet them. You destroyed 3 of their ships. How? Your vessel is so small. Jack smiled. Size isn't everything. Strategy matters more. But your tactics, Kerr's voice shook. You fight with such violence, such aggression. Are all humans like this? We fight to protect, Jack said simply. Fear doesn't help anyone win. Preparation does. He looked around at the peaceful settlement. Speaking of which, we need to get you ready. That warlord isn't going to stop. He's going to come back with more ships, but we are not warriors, Kerr protested. We do not know violence. Lieutenant Ben stepped forward. He was young, with kind eyes. You don't need to be warriors, sir. You just need to survive. And we're going to teach you how. Kerr looked at these strange humans. They terrified him. But they had come when no one else would. What do we do? He asked quietly. Jack put a hand on his shoulder. First we dig in. Then we make them regret ever hearing about this place. The human way. For 2 days, the humans worked without rest. They taught the Velic to dig trenches around the settlement. They showed them how to create underground shelters with multiple exits. They set up simple, automated turrets using mining equipment and targeting computers. "This is wrong," Kir said, watching his people learn to use defensive weapons. "We have never hurt anyone. This is not our way." Lieutenant Ben was helping Nell install a motion sensor. He looked up with understanding eyes. "I know it feels wrong, but sometimes the universe doesn't care about what's right. It only cares about what survives." "Your species thinks very differently than ours," Kir said softly. "Maybe," Ben replied. "But we're here, and we're not leaving." On the 3rd day, the cracks returned. 15 warships dropped out of faster-than-light travel. Combined with the remaining vessels from the first attack, Vex now commanded 23 ships. Far across the galaxy, the Galactic Council watched through their surveillance satellites. "The humans are doomed," said Representative Mora, her wings drooping with sadness. "They fought bravely," Tarn agreed. "But this is mathematics. 23 ships against 1 damaged vessel. There is no path to victory." "Then why do they stay?" asked Commander Vok. His warrior instincts told him something was wrong with this picture, but he could not see what. In space above Rillan 4, Captain Jack studied his tactical display. His ship had burn marks along the hull. 2 weapon systems were offline. Shields were at 60%. "Crack's fleet is forming attack formation," Lisa reported. "They're not taking chances this time." "Good," Jack said. "Tom, take us into the asteroid field. Mark, prepare hit-and-run pattern Delta." "Sir, we can't win a straight fight," Mark said. Jack grinned. "Then it's lucky we don't fight straight." The Dawnrunner launched toward the dense asteroid field that orbited Rillan 4. The Crack's fleet followed, confident in their numbers. "They run like cowards," Vex roared. "After them! Crush them against the rocks." 8 Crack's ships entered the asteroid field in pursuit. The human ship dove between massive spinning rocks using gravity assists and momentum in ways that made no sense to Crack's pilots. It would appear, fire, and vanish behind an asteroid before they could target it. 2 Crack's ships collided with asteroids, trying to follow the Dawnrunner's impossible maneuvers. "Fall back," Vex commanded. "Regroup." But the humans didn't let them regroup. The Dawnrunner emerged from a different angle, fired missiles, and disappeared again. Another Crack's ship exploded. "This is insanity," Vex's tactical officer shouted. "They have no pattern, no strategy." "They have strategy," Vex said grimly. "We just don't understand it." Meanwhile, 6 Crack ships broke away to attack the colony directly. "Incoming," Ben shouted on the ground. Plasma bolts rained down on the settlement. But the Velic were no longer exposed. They huddled in underground bunkers while automated turrets fired back. The humans had taught them to protect the innocent first, fight second. 3 Crack's ships swooped low for a strafing run. Hidden missile launchers, converted mining charges fired from concealed positions. 1 Crack ship took a direct hit and crashed into the crystal fields outside the settlement. "They fight back?" a Crack's gunner said in disbelief. "The Velic fight back?" On his flagship, Vex calculated the losses. 8 ships destroyed or damaged. The colony was fortified. The human ship was still active, still deadly despite its small size. And it had cost him nothing to attack. Until now. "Commander, we've lost more ships here than in our last 5 raids combined," his second officer reported. Vex stared at the tactical display. He could win this, eventually. With enough ships, enough time, enough resources, but the cost. In space, the Dawnrunner's bridge sparked from a plasma hit. The ship shook violently. "Shields down to 20%, Lisa called out. "Hull breaches on decks 2 and 3. "Switch to backup power," Jack ordered calmly. "Mark, do we still have the railguns?" "Barely, sir. Then we still have teeth." The ship rolled and fired. Another Crack's vessel took damage. On the council station, Tarn watched in amazement. They're losing. Their ship is falling apart, but they won't stop. That's what makes them human. said Vok quietly. The warrior understood now. They don't calculate whether they can win. They calculate whether they can make the enemy lose more. Back above Ryland 4, Jack opened a broadcast on all frequencies. This is Captain Jack to all Cracks vessels. You've lost 8 ships. We'll keep fighting until you lose 8 more. Then 8 more after that. He paused, letting that sink in. Ask yourself, Warlord Vex, is this colony worth your entire fleet? Vex's claws trembled with rage. The human was right. At this rate, conquering this one settlement would cost him everything, but he had committed his forces. He had called for reinforcements. He could not retreat without losing face. All ships, Vex commanded through gritted teeth. Full assault. Kill them all. I don't care what it costs. Jack heard the order over the open channel. He looked at his exhausted crew. Well, he said, time for Plan B. What's Plan B, sir? Asked Tom. Jack's smile was tired but fierce. Make them famous. Breaking point, Vex committed everything to the final assault. 23 ships moved into position around Ryland 4. There would be no retreat, no second chances. He would crush this human ship and burn the colony to ash. All weapons, full power, he commanded. I want that human vessel destroyed in the first volley. Across the galaxy, the Galactic Council prepared their official statement. Representative Mora drafted the words carefully. We honor the brave crew of the Dawnrunner, who gave their lives in defense of the innocent. It is a waste, Tarn said quietly. Such courage, thrown away on an impossible battle. On Ryland 4, colony leader Kier stood in the command bunker the humans had built. Outside, plasma fire lit up the sky like deadly rain. The automated defenses fired back, but everyone knew it was not enough. Kier activated his communicator. Captain Jack, you must leave. Take your crew and go. You have done more than anyone could ask. Save yourselves. Jack's voice came back through the static. We didn't come here to try, Kier. We came here to help. There's a difference, Bitey, but you will die. Maybe, Jack said, but we're going to make it count. On the Dawnrunner's bridge, smoke filled the air. Half the systems were offline. The ship shook from near-miss explosions. Tom, are we still broadcasting? Jack asked. Yes, sir. Every channel, every frequency, full power. Good. Mark, send the analysis package, all of it. Mark's fingers flew across his console. Sending now, sir. Complete tactical breakdown of every Cracks ship. Weapons frequencies, shield harmonics, engine signatures, command structure, communication protocols. Everything we've learned. Lisa looked up from her damaged station. Sir, we're broadcasting their weaknesses to everyone. Every species in range will know how to fight the Cracks. That's the idea, Jack said calmly. In the Cracks flagship, Vex's communication officer suddenly went pale. Commander, the humans are broadcasting data, military intelligence about us, about our ships. What? Vex pulled up the transmission. His blood went cold. The humans had analyzed everything. Every fight, every weakness, every vulnerability. They had turned 2 days of combat into a complete tactical manual for defeating the Cracks, and they were sending it to everyone. Cut them off. Jam their transmission. We can't, sir. They're using too much power. The signal is reaching across 3 sectors. Vex realized the trap. The humans had never planned to win this battle. They had planned to make the Cracks losing this battle cost everything. Not in ships, in reputation, in fear. If you attacked human friends, the humans would make sure everyone knew how to kill you. All ships destroy that vessel now, Vex screamed. The Cracks fleet opened fire with everything. The sky above Ryland 4 turned white with weapons fire. The Dawnrunner's shields collapsed. Hull plating melted. 3 more decks vented atmosphere. Brace for impact, Jack shouted. Then something impossible happened. New ships dropped out of faster-than-light travel. Not Galactic Council ships. These were different. Aggressive designs. War vessels. Sir, we're being hailed, Tom said, shock in his voice. Multiple species. The Tarok, the Benix, the Hive Collective. Jack pulled up the tactical display. 12 new ships had arrived. All of them were targeting the cracks. A harsh voice came over the communicator. "Human vessel, this is Tarok Commander Rex. We received your intelligence broadcast. The cracks destroyed our colony 5 years ago. Thank you for showing us their weakness. We will take it from here." Another voice. "This is Benix Captain Joel. The cracks have raided our borders for decades. Your tactical data is a gift. We are in your debt." Vex watched in horror as his enemies surrounded his fleet. They had come not to help the humans, but to kill weakened cracks. The broadcast had told them exactly where to find a vulnerable cracks fleet, and exactly how to destroy it. "Retreat," Vex ordered. "All ships, emergency jump." But the new arrivals had positioned themselves perfectly. They blocked escape routes and fired with precision, using the weaknesses the humans had identified. 4 cracks ships exploded before they could jump away. "Fall back! Fall back!" Vex's fleet scattered in panic. The Tarok ships pursued, hungry for revenge. The Benix fleet moved to protect the colony, their weapons tracking the retreating cracks. In minutes, the battle was over. The cracks fled, leaving 8 more destroyed ships behind. 16 ships lost total. Vex's fleet was broken. On Rilan 4, the settlement fell silent. The plasma fire stopped. The sky cleared. Kier stood in the bunker entrance, staring upward in disbelief. They left. We survived. Nell stood beside him, equally stunned. The humans called their enemies here. They made the cracks weak, then let others finish them. But what if those species attack us next? Kier asked, fear creeping back into his voice. The Dawn Runner limped down to the surface, trailing smoke and sparks. The landing was rough, but the ship made it. Jack walked down the ramp, his uniform torn and burned. He looked exhausted but satisfied. Kier rushed to him. "Captain, those ships. The Tarok, the Benix. What if they turn on us now?" Jack shook his head. "They won't." "How can you be sure?" "Because we made sure everyone saw us protecting you. We made sure everyone knows what happens to those who attack our friends." Jack smiled grimly. "And we made sure everyone knows that if you mess with people we're protecting, we'll make you famous for all the wrong reasons." Kier understood then. The humans had not just won a battle. They had changed the rules. They had made protecting the weak profitable and attacking them expensive. "Your way of helping," Kier said slowly, "is very strange." "Maybe," Jack agreed, "but it works." The unexpected result: 3 days later, Captain Jack stood in the Galactic Council chambers. His uniform was clean now, but the burn marks on his hands told the story of the battle. Around him, representatives from 47 species watched in silence. Council Speaker Tarn spoke first. "Captain Jack of Earth, you violated 47 laws of galactic warfare. You used banned weapons. You employed chaos tactics. You broadcast military intelligence without authorization." Jack stood straight, ready for judgment. "We expected to charge you with crimes," Tarn continued. "Instead, we have received formal requests from 12 species. They all want the same thing." He paused, and something like amusement crossed his face. "They want to hire humans for protection." The chamber erupted in noise. Representatives argued and shouted. Jack stood quietly, waiting. Representative Mora raised her wings for silence. "The Velic have submitted a testimony. Colony Leader Kier wishes to speak." The holographic display activated. Kier's four-armed form appeared, his kind eyes looking directly at the council. "Honored members," Kier began. "When we sent our distress call, we expected no one to come. When the humans arrived, we expected them to die bravely and achieve nothing." He paused, emotion in his voice. "They did not save us with superior weapons. Our settlement still stands not because they were stronger than the cracks. They saved us with superior will, with refusal to accept defeat, with the belief that protecting others matters more than calculating odds." "They fight like madness," Commander Vok interrupted. "No strategy, no pattern." "No," Kier said firmly. "They fight like they care. That is their strategy. That is their pattern. And it is terrifying to those who only understand cold mathematics." The council fell silent. The chamber doors opened. Admiral Kate walked in, her gray hair and tired eyes commanding respect. She moved to stand beside Jack. "Members of the Galactic Council," she said, "you want to know what makes humans different?" She looked around the chamber. "You calculate acceptable losses. We calculate acceptable risks. You fight to conquer or defend borders. We fight to protect people. You see war as mathematics. We see it as something that should end with fewer people hurt. That's not logical, said a council member from an insect-like species. Sometimes losses are necessary. Maybe, Kate agreed. But we don't accept that until we've tried everything else. You asked why we violated your warfare laws? Because your laws are designed to make war predictable, safe, controlled. She stepped forward. We don't want war to be safe. We want it to be terrifying. We want attacking peaceful colonies to cost everything. We want protecting the innocent to be the smart choice, not the brave one. Tarn studied the two humans. The council offers humanity probationary membership. One condition: you must teach our defense forces your tactics. Jack and Kate looked at each other. Then Jack shook his head. No. The chamber erupted again. You refuse membership? Tarn asked in disbelief. We refuse to teach war, Kate said clearly. We'll help defend species who need it. We'll stand between the weak and the strong, but we won't create more warriors. That's not help. That's just spreading the problem. You don't understand how the galaxy works, Commander Vox said. Power is the only language everyone speaks. Then maybe it's time for a new language, Jack replied. Kyr's hologram spoke again. I understand now. Your help is not what we expected because you see help differently. We expected warriors. You sent protectors. We expected soldiers. You sent people who care. He looked at the council. Humans are strange. They are terrifying. But they came when no one else would. They stayed when any sane species would run. They risked everything for people they had never met. Is that not what help should be? The council had no answer to that. In the end, they granted humanity observer status, permission to operate in council space, but no formal membership. It was a compromise no one liked and everyone accepted. As Jack and Kate left the chamber, Representative Mora caught up to them. You know you've changed things, she said quietly. Other species are already copying your tactics. The galaxy will become more chaotic. Maybe, Kate said. Or maybe it will become more honest. Maybe the strong will think twice before attacking the weak. And what will humanity do now? Jack smiled. What we always do. Help people who need it. 2 weeks later, the Dawn Runner finished its repairs. The crew prepared for departure from Rylan 4. The Velic lined the streets, waving farewell to the strange humans who had saved them. On the bridge, Tom spoke up. Sir, we're receiving another distress signal. Small mining outpost under attack by pirates. They're 3 weeks away. Jack looked at his crew. They were tired. They deserved rest. The ship still had scorch marks on the hull, but they all nodded. Set course, Jack ordered. Someone needs help. The Dawn Runner lifted off, leaving Rylan 4 behind. Throughout the galaxy, the word spread. Humans were strange. They fought like chaos. They broke every rule. But when you needed help, they came. And that changed everything. The end.